Hi, I wanted to do another vlog about some amazing training I had yesterday with an organisation called Grassroots. They run a training program called Safe Talk, which is about training people to be able to have conversations with someone that they feel might be suicidal. The great part about this is that you don't need to be an expert, you don't need to have medical training, you don't need to be a counsellor. What you do need to be able to do is say the words, are you thinking about committing suicide, or are you thinking about taking your own life? It's a conversation that we still don't really have, and suicide is still quite a taboo and awkward issue. We're all capable of getting that gut feeling when we know that something isn't quite right with somebody, or we see signs of things that worry us, people winding up their own affairs, the way that they might say goodbye to you, noticeable dips in mood, noticeable changes in their personality or the way they behave, no longer taking good care of themselves. And this training is about feeling okay to go, I've noticed you're having these difficulties. Sometimes people who have these difficulties might be thinking about suicide. Are you thinking about suicide? And that just opens up the possibility for that person to be able to have a conversation, to even just say yes or no, and also feel like someone is reaching out to them. And that's so important, so important. I really strongly recommend, if it's possible, to attend that course or some kind of similar course. What you then don't have to do is to take on trying to fix that person, but you can help them to get to a place where they're safe. And if they're fine, or if that's not the reason, maybe they might at least have somebody to talk to. When I was at my worst, and I was my most suicidal, pretty sure that the one thing that saved my life was a stranger who reached out to me. I was very isolated at that particular time. I didn't have a lot of friends around me. I didn't have my family around me. I was off work. I wasn't really talking to anybody, but I was online. And someone noticed that my online habits had really changed. The tone of my text, the tone of what I was saying had really changed. And they reached out to me. They sent me a personal message. They got in touch, and they gave me an opportunity to talk about what was happening. And from there, it started a chain of thoughts of, okay, maybe people will be impacted if I'm not here anymore. And although I didn't want to live for myself at that point, I hated myself, I suddenly realised that there might be people who still needed me. And that enabled me to ask for help, and a friend of mine drove me to the doctors, and then I was referred to the mental health assessment team. So that one person asking that question, are you suicidal? Are you thinking about killing yourself? Saved my life. Grassroots you can find. They've got a Twitter, Facebook page, which I'll put the details in below. They also have an amazing app called Stay Alive.